Kaity Biggar reveals why Jesse Palmer skipped her wedding to Zach Shallcross, June 30th, 2025. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News fans. Zach Shallcross and Kaity Biggar beat the odds of finding a love that lasts more than a few months on reality TV. The Bachelor franchise has been on the air since 2002, but only resulted in a few marriages. Zach and Kaity fell in love on season 27 of the popular ABC show. Despite constant speculation that they split, the couple actually made it down the aisle. They married in a private ceremony in May, but didn't share the news until earlier this month. Bachelor Nation fans want to know all the details of the secret wedding, and Kaity Biggar is more than happy to answer questions. She took to social media to share some details about the wedding and the couple's future plans. Keep reading to find out all the tea, including why Jesse Palmer skipped the ceremony. Kaity Biggar shares mini and big honeymoon plans. Zach and Katie's wedding plans went through several changes since they got engaged. They pushed the wedding back several times until everything aligned perfectly in May. One big thing that caused the wedding delay was money. The two have been trying to save money to buy their first home together. In a TikTok video, Kaity Biggar shared that they were planning a lavish ceremony before settling on a smaller wedding at the last minute. In fact, she didn't even buy her wedding dress until 2 weeks before the ceremony. She previously shared her and Zach's hope to get pregnant during their honeymoon. So, where do they plan to spend their post-wedding vacation? According to Kaity, they're planning on 2 honeymoons, one mini-moon in Cabo and then a longer big moon in Italy. Their wedding seemed to go off without a hitch, but she admitted that there was a huge absence at the ceremony. Bachelor Nation host Jesse Palmer. Why not? Kaity Biggar previously explained that no one from Bachelor Nation was invited because it was an intimate wedding with family only. However, in the new TikTok video, she revealed that they did want Jesse Palmer there. Zach and Kaity were actually hoping that Jesse would officiate their wedding. He was ordained during season 9 of Bachelor in Paradise to preside over Kenny Brash and Mari Pepin's wedding on the beach. However, he wasn't available to officiate at the wedding of Zach Shallcross and Kaity Biggar. He was in Costa Rica filming the upcoming season of Bachelor in Paradise and couldn't be in 2 places at once. Season 10 of BIP premieres on July 7th. Maybe another couple will get married on the beach and Jesse Palmer can officiate that. Kaity Biggar promised fans that she would answer any other questions about her wedding to Zach Shallcross.
Kaity Biggar reveals why Jesse Palmer skipped her wedding to Zach Shallcross, and it's not what you think. A perfect day, almost. The sun beamed across a sweeping vineyard in Napa Valley where soft music played and rows of white roses lined the aisle. Kaity Biggar stood behind a curtain of eucalyptus leaves, her breath hitching with every passing second. Today, she was marrying Zach Shallcross, the man who gave her his final rose in season 27 of The Bachelor. The guest list was a glittering who's who of Bachelor Nation: Gabby Windey in a sleek champagne gown, Rachel Recchia catching up with Tino Franco by the Mimosa Bar. Even Chris Harrison, yes, that Chris, had made a discreet appearance. Everyone was there. Except Jesse Palmer. The absence of the franchise's golden host wasn't just noticed. It was talked about, whispered about, gossiped over like it was the season finale. He officiated so many of these, and he skips this one? Something's up, Caitlin Bristow said under her breath. Kaity overheard a few murmurs as she walked down the aisle, hand in hand with her dad. She smiled, gracefully, as always, but inside, her heart was tangled in questions. Jesse had RSVP'd. He'd texted Zach 2 days ago. He even confirmed his flight. But he was a no-show. And Kaity Biggar? She wasn't the type to let that slide quietly. The Instagram frenzy. 3 days after the wedding, Katie's feed was a montage of perfection. The dress, the kiss, the vows, but one post, posted late one night, changed everything. It was a simple photo. Kaity in her robe, sitting by a fire pit, glass of wine in hand. Caption: some things you just don't expect. Still processing. Champagne emoji. Hashtag Mr. and Mrs. Shallcross. Hashtag where was Jesse? Within minutes, comments exploded. Where was Jesse Palmer? Wait, what happened? Spill the tea, Kaity. Don't act like we didn't notice. Bachelor Nation demanded answers. Jesse's last post was from a beach in Turks and Caicos, posted the same day as Kaity and Zach's wedding. No caption, just him, shirtless, grinning by a private pool. Kaity gave it 2 days. Then she picked up her phone and opened notes. Exclusive. Kaity Biggar tells all. Why Jesse really missed my wedding. She released it to people first, but only after Bachelor Nation had worked themselves into a frenzy. In a 2,000-word emotional open letter, Kaity revealed the truth. And it was deeper and stranger than anyone imagined. I debated whether to say anything. It's our wedding, and it was magical in every way. But I also know this community, the one that's followed our journey since the very beginning, deserves honesty. Jesse Palmer didn't skip our wedding because he was sick or because of a family emergency. He skipped it because of a choice I made last year. Kaity explained that during the After the Final Rose taping, she and Jesse had gotten into a disagreement, off camera, about how production handled Zach's Fantasy Suite Week. Kaity had refused to be edited into the safe pick, and Jesse, ever the franchise's loyalist, hadn't taken it well. We disagreed on how things were framed. I felt minimized. I wasn't just Zach's final rose. I was me, and I wanted people to see my depth, not just my dignity. She revealed that Jesse told her point blank, "You're overthinking it. This is a love story, not a documentary." Their friendship never recovered. Zach and Jesse stayed cool, but there was distance. I never told Zach everything. I didn't want to ruin anything. But that wasn't all. Behind closed doors. The open letter only scratched the surface. What Kaity didn't publish, but later revealed in a podcast appearance with Becca Kufrin, was what really sent her over the edge. Jesse Palmer had allegedly asked not to be invited. He told our planner to leave him out if it was going to be awkward for Kaity. He made it about protecting us, but to me, it felt like walking away. Becca's mouth dropped open. Wait, he ghosted because he didn't want to deal with you being uncomfortable? That feels backwards. Kaity nodded, eyes glistening. It hurt. I wanted to move past it, but he didn't show up, and that was the message. Suddenly, the narrative flipped. Jesse wasn't just a host. He had become a symbol of what happens when people prioritize an image over reality. The fans choose sides. Bachelor Reddit exploded. Twitter trended, hashtag justice for Kaity versus hashtag leave Jesse alone. Some fans defended Jesse. He's always been a professional. If Kaity caused drama behind the scenes, maybe he just didn't want to be fake. Others rallied behind Kaity. She deserved her day, and Jesse skipping it was petty. You hosted their season, man. Katie's DMs flooded. Messages of support, stories from past contestants, even Hannah Brown reached out, texting, "Been there. The image they protect isn't always you." Still, Kaity held her head high. She never bashed Jesse, never called him out by name, but she also never apologized for owning her truth. Zach steps in. For a while, Zach stayed quiet. Loyal to both Kaity and Jesse, he didn't want to be the one caught in the middle. But then came Bachelor Happy Hour, and Zach couldn't hold back anymore. I love Jesse. He's been a mentor, a friend, and honestly, a huge part of my journey. But yeah, it stung. Kaity worked so hard planning this wedding. I saw her hurt. Zach admitted he tried to get Jesse to change his mind. He even sent a last-minute invitation via text. I told him, "Don't do this. Show up. It matters." He said, "You've got this without me, brother." Fans felt the pain in Zach's voice. He wasn't angry, just disappointed. Jesse responded. 2 weeks later, Jesse Palmer finally broke his silence. It wasn't a flashy post, just a black screen on Instagram stories with white text. Sometimes staying away is the best way to avoid making something about yourself. I wish Zach and Kaity nothing but love. Always have, always will. He turned off comments. But that wasn't enough. ABC released a follow-up statement confirming Jesse had amicably stepped back from hosting some franchise weddings to allow space for couples to celebrate their way. It sounded neutral, too neutral. And yet, a small line buried in the statement caught fans' eyes. We look forward to Jesse's continued presence throughout the next Bachelor cycle and beyond. So he wasn't going anywhere. But Kaity, she was. The bigger picture. Kaity announced shortly after the honeymoon that she and Zach were stepping back from Bachelor events. It's time to live our lives, real ones, not just rose-colored ones. They moved to Austin, bought a fixer-upper, and launched a podcast, Final Rose, Real Life, chronicling what happens after the cameras stop. In episode 1, Kaity shared one last thought about Jesse. I don't hate him. I just wish he saw me, not as a contestant, not as a finalist, but as Kaity. The silence that followed spoke volumes. The wedding revisited. A month later, Kaity posted an unseen wedding clip, one the cameras didn't catch. She and Zach slow dancing, alone, after the last guest had left. No DJ, no drama, just two people who chose each other. This was the moment, she wrote. No speeches, no cameras, just us. It was the softest clapback of all. Not a scandal, not a feud, just love. What really matters. Bachelor Nation thrives on drama, and Kaity knew that. But in the end, what she revealed wasn't just about Jesse Palmer. It was about how people outgrow their roles. She had been cast as the calm choice, the safe pick, the quiet one. But Kaity Biggar had a voice, and when her day finally came, she used it, not to tear anyone down, but to stand fully in the truth of who she was. The girl behind the rose, she grew thorns and still bloomed.